everyone, and welcome to Molehill Mountain, episode 125. Andrew Eisen here, along with Zachary Knight. Hello, Zachary.
Hello, Andrew. Hello, everybody out there.
Hello, everybody. So, all right. Before we get into the major topics, let's get into the smaller ones, I guess, which is, did you see the trailer for Avengers Endgame?
Yes, I did. Did you see the trailer for Kim Possible live-action TV movie? No, I'm just kidding.
Actually, I did.
You did? Yeah, I watched it too.
I thought, I've never seen the show, but I'm familiar with the character design at least.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, it looks like Kim Possible, and the two bad guys, while they're not blue and green like blue skin, green skin that they are in the cartoon, they're still recognizable. So I think I think they struck a nice balance. I'm not the target audience, so
I'm not the target audience either.
Maybe Kim Possible fans are yelling sacrilege.
Actually, the few people that I know that are fans of the Kim Possible series seem to like the trailer. So,
okay, good.
So yeah. But going back to Avengers, what did you think? Of the trailer, I guess.
I mean, I was already in the bag for it anyway.
Oh yeah. That's a given. Yeah.
I have a I mean, it didn't show much. It says half the world, half of all living creatures are gone, and I have to imagine that means like what if
animals?
Yeah, like your cat,
bugs. Yeah. Half of all ants and termites in the world
half of all mosquitoes. I think we're okay.
Yeah. But see, now that this is something that bugs me. Okay, if half of all living creatures disappeared, does that mean half of all endangered species as well? So, like, if there were only two living, rhinos or whatever, because the white rhinos are something they recently went extinct. But if there was just a male and a female left and he dusted away one of them, he's basically caused an extinction of an animal.
That's an interesting point. Is it all sentient life? I mean, she says, like what it says, all life. So I imagine that.
She says all living creatures is the way she phrased it.
Yeah. So
I always assumed it was just going to be all sentient beings, because they're the ones causing the problem.
But that's interesting, because is it 50% of each class of living organism? Because if it was just 50% of all life, most humans would be fine, because there's way more bacteria than us.
Yeah, there's
bacteria would take the brunt of it.
Ants and insects alone outnumber us 1,000,000 to 1.
Yeah.
And
if you got dusted, you're just really unlucky.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how they explain and expand upon that, because just from the end of Infinity Wars, spoilers for anybody that hasn't seen it yet, is we only saw sentient beings dusted, and really we only saw heroes. We didn't actually see any normal people dusted. We just saw the aftermath of.
I think there might have been a wide shot of the Wakandan army getting dusted, but
yeah, I think so.
And in the post credits thing, you saw some people on the street getting dusted.
Yeah, but it mostly focused on the heroes. And
my sister says giraffes get to stay. It was in the fine print. Thanos is like, oh yeah, of course giraffes. I mean, what do you think I am, a monster?
Yeah, but I just, based on the ending of that movie, I just assumed it was all sentient beings. Yeah. Because that's really when Thanos did his analog calling, where he would go to a world and kill half the population. He killed half of the sentient population, and we saw that with Gamora.
Yeah,
her planet. He lined two groups of people on either side of the street.
Only 300 people lived on that planet.
Yeah, but that's what I'm thinking. So
well, that's what I got too, because Thanos is doing this because there's not enough resources to support all the peoples. I'm like, well, if you do all living things and that includes plants, you're getting rid of half the damn resources, so you end up with the exact same
Yeah.
ratio of people to resources.
Yeah. But
So
plants don't really fall under creatures, in my
yeah, yeah.
my opinion. But yeah,
Uh, Poison Ivy may disagree, but she's in DC anyway. So
yeah,
although
that's
there's got to
true.
be some plant mancer. Well,
The Man
who's
Thing.
Marvel? Man Thing is
Yeah,
Swamp
Marvel is Man Thing,
Man Thing.
and DC is Swamp Thing,
Right,
and
right,
but Swamp Thing has a human mind where he can actually think and reason, whereas Man Thing has lost all his humanity, and
right.
he's basically an animal in all respects. Um, a mystical animal, like he seeks out those who have done evil and kills them, but you know, but
So I've also seen some not I didn't see a new trailer. Oh, there was a new Captain Marvel trailer,
yeah,
which
Captain Marvel trailer came out
which looked cool.
Sunday night, I think, or Monday.
Sunday or Monday, yeah.
Yeah.
And Nick Fury is confirmed a cat person.
Yeah, that was a
And that
very
better be
interesting
Chewie.
thing.
That better be
Well,
Chewie Lurkin.
it is they have announced that the cat's name is actually Goose in the movie. It's not Chewie, so they named him Goose for a Top Gun reference.
That's
So
stupid, though.
yeah, I know it doesn't make any sense why. Yeah,
Why would you? Is it not a flirt? That's going to really disappoint me if that's not a flirkin, or if Chewie the flirkin isn't in there. And if you don't know what a flirkin is, wait till the movie comes out, and you'll either see or you won't. And if you don't, then look it up, because if there is a flirkin in the movie and that cat's a flirkin, I'm really impressed that they saved it for the film. I mean, they may ruin it in another trailer, but
yeah,
I was all excited. Goose. Eh.
Goose.
Eh. Is that what it
Yeah.
says on the collar that he's playing with? I only watched it once. I didn't
Yeah, I didn't.
look.
I didn't watch that one too many times. I watched the
Oh,
Avengers one
maybe. Oh,
3 times.
you know what it is? Disney owns this, and Chewie's already taken, but Chewbacca.
Yeah.
That's what it is. They want to confuse the toy aisle. I want Chewie for Christmas, and they grab the Flurkin instead of the Wookiee. You've got three guys named Chris. We can have two Chewies.
That's that would be a dumb reason, because they've already referenced Star Wars movies several times in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So why wouldn't somebody name their cat Chewie?
Well, I mean,
was there anything in the Avengers trailer that surprised you or caught your attention other than the?
well, the thing that was weirding me out is the beginning. It starts out with what's his face, Tony Stark, recording his final message to Pepper Potts.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, where's La Blue Girl? What the hell's her name?
Nebula.
Nebula. Thank you.
Yeah.
Don't look up La Blue Girl. Turn on safe search first. Nebula, because I'm like, she isn't she? And there's this scene of her which looks like she's on the same spaceship, and I imagine maybe she's like off screen being like, "Oh, don't be so melodramatic." It's like, or it's like, I don't breathe anymore, so I'll be fine.
Yeah. There's that, where she can survive in the vacuum of space and he can't. So, yeah.
So I'm guessing Hawkeye's family got dusted.
Yeah, that's the running theory right now of why he's become Ronin. This is a character that he became in the comics as Ronin, and he traded his bow and arrows for a sword.
Well, but wasn't it because he died and then he got better, and when he came back, Kate Bishop was took over as Hawkeye? And he's like,
Yeah.
"Oh well, there can't be two Hawkeyes. I guess I honestly don't remember anymore."
It's something along those lines, but in this movie, I can see he's gone full on vigilante or assassin or something like
Well,
that.
he
And,
appears to have killed at least 3 people who hopefully deserved it.
yeah, he was in Japan, so maybe they were yakuza, and yeah. So so that confirms it. The Marvel movies and the Yakuza video game share a universe. So
There you go.
yeah,
Maybe Hawkeye's family is fine. It was just the family dog that got dusted.
maybe.
Can't
Yeah, poor
throw him into
Pizza the dog. I think that's the dog's name in the Hawkeye series, Pizza. But
Freakles like LeBlue Girl in MCU. Man, Disney consumes everything.
uh, yeah, so there was the
Avengers
Ronin
versus
thing.
tentacle monsters.
Uh, but
All the female Avengers are like, nope, we're sitting this one out. Have at it, boys. No.
Yeah, I think the only question the main question I have is at the end of the trailer with Ant-Man at the door. Um, is that actually recorded footage or is that live feed according to Captain America
Well,
and
he does
what's her name?
say he does reference
Black Widow.
yeah, he does reference Civil War being years ago, which
Yeah,
it was. So, but what I want to see is, those microscopic little multi-legged
yeah,
animal tetragrads or whatever they're
something.
called. You know what I'm
Yeah,
talking about, right?
yeah, I know what you're talking
At
about.
some point, those are getting big and rampaging through the city. They're
Yeah,
pulling that out of they're pulling one of them out of the microverse, and they're going on a rampage.
that would be
Or they'd
hilarious.
actually just kind of lie there on their side and kick their legs because. Matthew says Netflix revealed Netflix has been going full bore anime. They've got a new Ghost in the Shell cartoon coming out in a couple of years. When I first saw the headline, I was going like, "Oh God, are they doing a live action Netflix Ghost in the Shell?" No, it's a cartoon. I'm like, yeah, okay. I hear Standalone Complex is good. I saw like half of one episode once, and I was like, okay, it's fine. So I don't really have much of an opinion on it. Although
Yeah.
Ghost in the Shell was one of the first animes I ever saw. The movie, I thought it was okay. Then I saw Ninja Scroll, and I was like, anime's the best. Lastly, I suppose Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Man, I'm really looking forward to seeing this.
Yeah,
I
it's
saw
looking good.
everything I see from it looks great, and I saw a clip from the film, and I was just charmed like nothing else. It's a scene of Miles in his room. I don't know if he's doing homework or something, but he's listening to music, singing along, but getting most of the words wrong. He's like, "I've got a taco. Tacos are good, and I like." I mean, he's got some of the words, but he's just kind of muttering through most of it because he doesn't really
Yeah.
know the song. I'm like, sold.
Yeah, that was a great bit. I love it. Everything I've seen of the of Into the Spider Verse has looked great, and I can't wait to see the whole thing because it looks amazing. But it's up for Golden Globe Best Animated Picture, huh?
Is it? Great.
Yeah. Hopefully
Man,
it wins. It'll be
it says Netflix revealed that, or rather, it's a bit surprising how down the rabbit hole Netflix is going. Well, it does Disney's streaming service have anime? Maybe.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. With Disney leaving Netflix in the next year,
Well, I mean, it might have Studio Ghibli stuff.
yeah, but Netflix is going to have a huge content hole, and so they are filling everything they can, and that's one of the reasons why they're getting all this anime because they know that there are anime lovers in the U.S. and throughout the world, and they will go and see that, especially if they're going to make new anime in popular genres or popular shows, and and with the success they've had with things like Voltron, She-Ra, Castlevania, they have a good track record for animated television. So
they should reboot Thundercats. Oh, they are. I totally forgot about that. I mean,
Netflix isn't doing it. That's Cartoon
not
Network.
Netflix.
Yeah.
Someone else, only just a wildly different tone and
Yeah,
story.
Cartoon Network is doing their Teen Titans goifying Thundercats.
Right. Okay. Rainbow Bright then.
Yeah, there we go.
um, okay, here's my theory. You know how in Into the Spider-Verse there's 5 or 6 different spider peoples,
Mm-hmm.
and they're done in different styles. Like Spider-Man Noir is black and white, and he's textured almost like he's like, has the dots like he's colored in a comic book.
Yeah.
Peter Porker is very cell shaded. Not Penny Parker. What's her name?
Penny,
Spider. The other one.
the one with the robot.
The robot. What's her name?
Oh, goodness.
Penny Parker. It's something else. You know what I'm talking about. But she's very anime manga inspired in her design. So since all the different spider peoples are done in different styles, I think it would work if one of the actual live action spider people, like Tobey Maguire, well, maybe he's too old now, but probably what's his face, who's the current Spider-Man in the MCU. What's that kid's name? Well, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
If one of the live action Spider-Man actually showed up in the movie, I think
and Colleen, you make me laugh. I'm like, Tobey Maguire. No, that's not it. That
Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and the new kid is
Tom Holland.
Tom Holland. Thank you.
Yeah.
There, Kelly got it.
Yeah.
No,
Penny Parker is. I think that's the. That's the
okay.
Penny. Yeah, Penni.
I was thinking of Penny, and I'm like, well, it's not that, so it must not be Penny. At Penni, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Spider is S. It's like SP//DR or some weird thing.
Yeah. So since they have two girls in the cast, do we still call them Spider Men, or do we call them Spider Persons?
Spider people, spider
people, yeah.
Spider peeps.
Yeah.
I don't know. You've got 3 dudes, 2 dudettes, and a pig.
Yeah.
So, and then Aunt May is gonna suit up in a mech and kick. I don't know. I wonder if they're doing if this universe has like hot Aunt May, or if they're older matronly Aunt May.
Well, if you're talking about Miles's universe, that Peter Parker had been working for a while. He had been the Spider-Man for a while before he died. So I would assume his Aunt May is an elderly Spider-Man or elderly Aunt May. And then the Peter Parker that shows up to help him.
Ooh, that's going to be
also
awkward.
an older
Aunt May meets other universe Peter Parker who's dead in her universe. That's going to be awkward.
Yeah.
It says Tom Holland did the lip sync battle to Umbrella by Rihanna, and it was sexy.
Okay.
I don't know. I know who Rihanna is. I know what lip sync battle is. I know who Rihanna is. Apparently, Tom Holland lip synced a song from Rihanna, and it was sexy.
Okay.
No doubt. That kid is very athletic, so I'm sure he did very well. Turn off safe search and look it up on YouTube. So let's move into topics before we run out of time, because I actually do have to get to Trader Joe's before it closes, because I need sausage and cabbage and other things and kefir. So let's talk about Bethesda again. Bethesda. So last week we talked about Bethesda, and Bethesda screwed things up in every conceivable way, and we all said, well, at least it's downhill from here, right? Because they couldn't possibly screw this up any worse. And Bethesda said, "Hold my beer." So just to recap, Fallout 76, which I've not played it, not a big fan of Fallout, but from what I've read, the game is typical buggy, crappy Bethesda game, doesn't
Yeah.
work well, and is a bad Fallout game on top of it. So gamers aren't happy, Fallout fans aren't happy, no one's happy. The game in and of itself apparently not very good.
Yeah,
But the game,
and some of the bugs actually destroy the game, like
yeah,
literally destroy the game.
there's some bad bugs. Quality assurance, why bother when people are going to buy it anyway? And the PC
Yeah,
users will fix it. They'll patch in fixes. It's fine. We don't need to waste our own money on that. So Bethesda sold a $200. Matthew says you jinxed it.
yeah.
So let's go through what happened. So last week we learned that they sold a $200 collector's edition, which included the game and a bunch of stuff. Little
Yeah.
figurines and maps and a canvas bag with a helmet in it. Unfortunately, what people received was a crappy nylon bag. Not just a nylon bag, a crappy nylon bag. And allegedly, a customer support response to someone who reached out was, "We're not planning on doing anything about it." After an outrage, Bethesda said, without explaining or apologizing, bought gamers off with 500 atoms, essentially store credit. So they're like, "Oh, we're not going to give you the thing that you already paid for. We're going to give you store credit that's so little that it's going to make sure you spend even more in our little store." So that was last week. What we found is that influencers, YouTube people who shill for companies, people like me, actually got canvas bags. Not the advertised canvas bags, but they got actual canvas, like little backpacks made of canvas. It's like, oh, really? You were out of canvas? I guess the great canvas shortage came and went, did it? And then Bethesda, again, without explaining or apologizing, set up a mechanism, hoops, if you will, that people who already paid $200 for their canvas bag and everything else had to jump through in order to get their canvas bag, which is the wrong way to go about doing this, Bethesda.
Yeah.
What you should do is say, "Oh, we're just going to send what people already paid for. We're not going to require the people who already paid for the stuff that we didn't deliver to jump through further hoops to get the stuff that they already paid for." And then those hoops that the people who already paid for stuff had to jump through to get the stuff they already paid for ended up exposing their personal information, including their full names and addresses, to the world.
Oh, man.
Oh my God, Bethesda, are you sure you're not doing this on purpose?
Yeah, I know. Even when they're trying to do something right, even though they were basically guilted into it, almost forced into it, they find a way to screw it up. I guess, from a company that you can't really expect a lot to come from a company that introduces game bugs that actually destroy your game install to actually produce a secure and safe website. I think that is expecting too much of Bethesda. Their web development work is on par with their game development work. It's a one big buggy mess, and we've had high profile cases of security lax software security over the last few years, where millions upon millions of people's personal identifying information has been leaked, oftentimes credit card information, social security numbers, all this stuff. And a lot of these leaks come from major corporations that deal with, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of transactions a day. Companies that their job is to maintain databases of people's personally identifying information. You think that with all of that in mind, anybody would be like, okay, crap, we got to really knock down on this and do and prevent these kinds of bugs from happening. But no, this is Bethesda we're talking about. They're just like, oh, slap a web form up there and save everything in a in a XML document on the server that everybody can access. I don't know if that's what they did. They probably didn't, but
I've got it. I know. I know what they're thinking. I have plumbed the minds of Bethesda, and this is the thought process. Bethesda knows that they are great storytellers. Not really great at making games from a technical perspective, but their stories, debatably, are great. I don't know, I haven't played them, but I hear their stories are great. Everyone loves the Elder Scrolls story and the lore. You find books and they've actually got words in them, like that old Myst game, where you pulled books off the shelves and you'd read them and they had nothing to do with anything. So much lore, such lore. So anyway, they're great at stories, and this, eventually, once it's over, will make a great story.
How the great canvas shortage of 2018 caused the downfall of a major corporation.
Yes. Either that or Bethesda is woefully incompetent or incredibly lazy. Honestly,
it's probably
my
a little bit of both. I think.
I just don't think they care.
No, they don't.
I don't think they're incentivized to care because they're like, we're making money. We'll care when we stop making money.
Yeah. And then that there is the rub. We as collectively as gamers, we're very bad at punishing bad actors, especially when those bad actors are AAA developers that make the franchise games that we love. It's just we're very bad. It had people stuck to their guns. Half of these companies would have gone bankrupt years ago, and we would have new AAA companies to whip and yell at. But it's just collectively we're very bad at punishing them. We're very bad at speaking with our wallet. Individuals, are some individuals are good at it. I for one, I have never bought a brand new Ubisoft game in forever. I still have not bought Diablo 3 or StarCraft 2 or played World of Warcraft because I don't like any of the crap that they did with those games. I'm but I don't it, I don't think I have a specific weakness for any specific company or franchise, but I'm sure there's a game out there that if it launched tomorrow, I might be out there buying it, but I don't know.
I don't know how much holier than thou I am because my favorite games are made by companies who generally don't do some of the most horrible egregious anti-consumer crap like your EAs and your Activisions and Bethesda. um, I love Nintendo, but their games are typically not jam-packed full of microtransactions or loot boxes.
At least not yet. They're getting they're working their way there.
They generally handled it. While I do have qualms with DLC, Nintendo typically generally handles it better than some.
Yeah.
I mean, they're usually DLC for Nintendo games is announced after the game comes out. It's usually pretty fairly priced for what you get. Um,
Yeah.
I do think Smash Brothers DLC is historically overpriced. I think $5 or $6 for a single character and music and stage is a bit steep, but still.
Yeah.
But generally, I think they do okay. But I don't think any Nintendo game they are into the microtransaction free to play
Mobile
mobile stuff,
games. Yeah.
but they're also free to play. So I
Yeah.
don't. You got to
And
monetize
it's
the
not
game somehow.
the
You either charge a price up front, or it's free and you put up with ads, or it's supported by some type of microtransaction
yeah.
economy.
And
The problem is when publishers decide to do everything in the same game.
yeah, that is a big deal. And and I think like you said, Nintendo is probably one of the better companies out there for this. Even though I don't particularly like some of the microtransaction crap they do in their mobile games,
Yeah,
at least the Pokemon Company games.
they're also bad games.
Yeah, but at least the games for the Pokemon franchise have all been relatively consumer friendly in how they deal with their microtransactions. I think Pokemon Go is probably the worst infringer there because you know everything costs in-game currency, but they have a solid mechanism in the game to earn that currency, and it's not grindy at all. It's just capped.
Yeah,
How much you can earn a day. Um, but even that, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, you have enough to buy a something that actually benefits you in the game, and it's like you didn't spend any money. But yeah, you know but companies like EA and Activision, and EA did that whole stupid Dungeon Keeper crap
mm,
where it was that free to wait game where it's like, oh, you don't want to wait 3 days for this trap to form? Well, you can pay $5 and make it happen right away.
yeah. I think that the point that I was circling towards but didn't actually land
Yeah.
was what would I do if the next Legend of Zelda has loot boxes and microtransactions and all kinds of crap in it? If the next main console Zelda game has all of the stuff that I really don't like they announce Zelda and then they announce a season pass before they've shown any footage of the game, and
Yeah.
it's got microtransactions and it's got loot boxes, and the game is you suspect the game is balanced such that it's an unpleasant grind if you don't play in the loot boxes. Would I still buy the Zelda game? I would like to think I wouldn't, but I've never had that Sophie's choice put in front of me
Yeah.
yet. So who knows how I'd act. Matthew says Warframe handles free to play well. You can sell in-game items to other players for the paid currency. Ah, okay.
Mm.
Yeah, Warframe is
Yeah.
something that just hit Switch just recently, I think.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
another Panic Button game? Panic Button.
uh, I don't know.
Someone will look it up.
Yeah. But just imagine if Breath of the Wild had in-game microtransactions. Like one of the key features of Breath of the Wild is that your weapons break after a while. Some weapons last a little bit longer than others. Imagine if they had a polished stone that you could buy and
Keep your weapons from breaking.
just to keep your weapons from breaking, but you had to pay regularly to keep the polished stone powered up. That would make them lots of money, but probably take a lot of people off.
Yeah. What if all the doohickey, all the crap you pick up off the ground in Breath of the Wild, all the monster parts, all
Mhm.
the ores and stuff, what if all that was for sale for real money? If you
Mhm.
didn't want to, explore and play the game. Um, I think
Oh, is
I
this
think
shrine too difficult? Pay $5
yes.
and
Well, the
and
interesting thing about the way Breath of the Wild is set up is you don't have to do anything in the game. You can just march right up on Ganon's front door with a mop if you want, or a tree branch in your underwear. You're probably going to die, but you could do that if you want. I think if Nintendo changed nothing else about the way the game worked and added that kind of crap, I think most people would ignore it because the game is fun to play.
yeah.
I don't think most people mind playing the game and getting rewarded with all the crap they pick up off the ground and plumb out of treasure
Yeah. Well,
chests.
and
Which
that's
is
just
why the
yeah.
Activisions and EAs of the world rebalance the game so that it's actually not fun to play and you're
Mhm.
encouraged to spend money so you don't have to play it anymore. The game
Exactly.
you already paid
That's
$60 for.
yeah, and that's the deal. That's the problem is you have those games that are balanced to make you want to pay money, whereas Nintendo with Breath of the Wild, it's balanced to where everything you need is there. You just gotta manage your resources, and you're good to go. But yeah.
Well, let's
One of
move to
these days we'll be able to punish bad actors and everybody will be on board.
yeah.
One of these days.
Well, someday people will realize that Bethesda's games are actually not very good. And I know this because I haven't played them. Because if I don't have interest in it, then obviously it's not worth playing. You're
Exactly.
playing a bad game. I know it's bad because I don't want to play it. That's how it works with me. All right, let's I hope that's the facetiousness of that comment was coming through. Okay, moving on. Uh, Epic Games of Unreal Engine and Fortnite
Fortnite.
recently
Yeah.
is being sued over one of the dance emotes that you can purchase because it, like I think every dance emote in the game, is based on an actual dance that has been performed by someone at some point. For example, the Gangnam Style pony dance thing is in the game. It's something you can purchase. Uh, if you've seen Napoleon Dynamite, which I haven't because it looks terrible, therefore it must be, and you
You're
have
not
to pay
missing much. I've
for
seen
it.
it. You're not
Yeah,
missing much. But
there's a dance that comes from that. There's a dance that comes from that one guy in that one TV show. I think it's Fresh Prince of Bel Air. Carlton. I never watched
yeah,
it.
yeah, the, the
The who
yeah,
dances to a Tom Jones song.
yeah.
That's in there. Um,
Isn't the Macarena in there too? I
I
don't know.
would guess so.
Yeah.
One of the dances is based on a gentleman named Two Millie, who came up with a dance called the Millie Rock. And uh, this dance is in the game as a paid emote, and Mr. Millie is not seeing a single red cent from it. Not only that, but it's called the wave. What the hell they call it? They call it the swipe it rather than the Millie Rock. So not only is he not getting paid for this, they're removing
Yeah.
all reference to him. It doesn't use his music because some of these, at least some of these emotes, if not all of them, have their own little soundtrack. So it doesn't use Mr. Millie's music. It does not credit him in any way, and it does not pay him. Now, according to Copyright Peoples, you can't copyright dance moves, individual steps. You can copyright routines, but you
Yeah,
can't.
you can copyright a dramatic performance
Right,
in dance.
right,
So like an entire 1 hour ballet, you could copyright the whole thing,
right.
but you can't
So,
copyright the pirouette.
so while Mr. Millie may ultimately have no case here, um, what do you think would actually be the proper fair thing to do? Not what can we do to make the most money and get away with it because they would have no legal remedy anyway, but
Hmm.
here's what I think. I think that Fortnite, that Epic should just call it the Millie Rock at the very least.
Yeah, that has been one of the because this is something that's been going through the news cycle for the last month and a half, 2 months or so.
At least
You know,
credit the people you're taking stuff from.
yeah, exactly, and
Even if you
that's
can legally take this stuff from other people, at least give them some damn credit, because otherwise kids are gonna some kid is gonna watch a music video on MTV, if that was a thing, and they're gonna see Mr. Millie do the Millie Rock, and this kid's gonna go, that's from Fortnite,
yeah,
and you're
exactly.
going to make Mr. Millie very sad.
Yeah, and this is throughout the news cycle of this thing. This is the first lawsuit that's been introduced, as far as I'm aware. But most people whose dances appear in Fortnite have been just like, we're it's okay if you want to do it. Just credit us. We created the dance, put our name there with the actual name of the dance, and possibly depending on copyright issues, a clip of the actual music that the dance is performed to behind it. That might be a little trickier with music licensing and stuff, but just putting the name of the dance and the name of the person who created the dance would go a long way. And I haven't read through the entire lawsuit yet, but it's just it. That seems like where this lawsuit is actually headed is just proper crediting. I would assume that Millie would settle out of court for just that. But then again, if this goes all the way to court and potentially all the way up to the Supreme Court, if they rule that these dance moves can be copyrighted, then that's basically going to kill this emote market in Fortnite. The moment they lose a lawsuit or get or get an injunction against selling these moves, but Epic is going to freak out and shut down that entire
Fortnite is not
functionality.
a free-to-play game, is it, or is it?
I forget. I don't know if it is or not.
Come to our rescue. Is Fortnite a free-to-play game? Because I honestly don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm an old fuddy-duddy who doesn't care about Fortnite. I think it's aesthetically cute, but not something I'm interested in playing.
Fortnite Battle Royale is the free 100-player PvP mode in Fortnite.
Right. The Battle Royale portion is free to play. I think the Fortnite full game is there's like a full version of the game or something that cost money, and then they said
play for free, and then there's the PvE campaign that's $40, and then the PvE campaign deluxe edition is $60.
Or you could hire choreographers to make new dances for you.
Yeah.
Or since you're making billions of dollars or whatever absurd amount of money they're making with Fortnite, like you're selling the emotes for $5, $3. I don't know what you're selling them for. Give a penny to the original. I mean, if you yes, you don't have to, but at the end of the day, you are directly profiting specifically off someone else's work.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like you're selling a game that happens to have this dance step in it. You're literally selling that dance step by itself. So obviously it has value.
Yeah, exactly. And you got to wonder if how many of these people are buying the dance moves or the emotes because they actually know the original creator of the dance moves, or if they're just buying them because it looks good and they're attributing it to Epic and Fortnite.
And a lot of I think the fun of a lot of these dance emotes is that a lot of people get the references. They recognize that from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, or the Gangnam Style, or the Floss, or that's from That's that funny dance that Jim Carrey did in Dumb and Dumber. I know that. I think the nostalgia, the recognition, is part of the fun and part of the charm. I think that if they just made up or one of them's a Snoop Dogg move from a video from like
Yeah.
20 years ago. um, um, have you ever seen Snoop Dogg angry? Try to imagine Snoop Dogg like angrily yelling at somebody. I have
Yeah.
never seen that guy in a demeanor that I would anything more than chill.
Yeah.
Hi, Tinku. Glad you're a fan. So what this kind of reminds me of is Weird Al Yankovic, who does parody music. Also, a lot of his own. Half the songs on each album are his own original work. A lot of
Yeah.
people forget that, but he's most well known for his parodies. And Weird Al is well known for asking permission from the original artists before he parodies their work. He legally does not have to do that at all. He does
Yeah.
not need their permission to do that because it's fair use, parody.
Mhm.
But Weird Al just feels that it's appropriate to ask permission uh, to get the blessing of the original artists to parody their work,
Yeah.
and I think that's very cool of them. So
It
Epic,
is. Yeah.
be cool.
Yeah.
Make gamers say, "Well, hey, that was cool of Epic."
Yeah, and Weird Al is famously failed to get permission, but went ahead and did
Prince.
the song anyways. Well, no, he Prince won't let him do a song at all, and Weird Al respects that. But the Gangster's Paradise,
Coolio.
Coolio, Weird Al thought he had permission to do that one, and produced his Amish Paradise song. And then after that came out, Coolio was like, "Dude, I never gave you permission." And it's like, "What? I thought we had this arranged." But it all worked out in the end. But yeah, but Prince won't. Prince never gave permission for any of his songs to be parodied, and Weird Al was cool with that.
So what could have been?
Yeah. And another story was with Nirvana. Weird Al wanted to parody, "Smells Like Teen Spirit," and and Weird Al asked him, "It's like, hey, can I parody this song?" And they're like, "You're not going to do a food song, are you?" He's like, "No, I'm going to do a song about how nobody can understand your lyrics." And that's what it turned out to be. So
If you look on Weird Al's site, he has a blog on his site which describes the terrible lengths that he went to get permission to do the parody of "Born This Way," Lady Gaga's song.
uh-huh.
That is a hell of a story.
Yeah.
So that's well worth a read. My sister
Yeah.
pointing out that he never did he wanted to do a parody of McCartney's "Live and Let Die" called "Chicken Pot Pie," but never did because of the rights.
Yeah. Yeah. He has
He didn't get permission.
yeah. He's also got a ton of songs that he only performs live because he doesn't have he never got permission to do an actual recording of them, but he still performs them live, and so that's kind of neat. But yeah.
Yeah. All right, so let us move to our final topic, which might be very short. The Game Awards. The first thing I would like to say about the Game Awards is it kind of amazes me that an industry, video games, known for its boundless creativity and enviable imagination, can't come up with a better title for its award show than the Game Awards.
Well, okay, so let me tell you this. I'm 38 years old, and I still don't know the difference between the Emmys and the Oscars.
Well, that's true. At least you know what the Game Awards are.
Yeah.
Emmys, is that music, TV? Is that the Globes? Well, is that movies? It's the Academy Awards. Well, which one's a Tony? Is that Broadway plays? I don't know. The Game Awards? Those are games.
Exactly.
On the other hand, it might be genius.
But yeah, I'm terrible at the Grammys. I know our music. The Tonys I know is Broadway, but yeah, it's just I always forget which one is which when it comes to the Emmys and the Oscars, and I'm just like whatever. But yeah, but the Game Awards. I did not watch the Game Awards.
I know that whether she's going to type it or not, I know that my sister just rattled off the entire list, and she's like, "The Tonys are this, the Grammys are this, the Emmys are this." She knows. So the Game Awards happened, and they happened on Thursday night for some reason. I was thinking to myself, they're this weekend, right? And I went, wait a minute, let me be sure. And I looked, and I saw the date of the 6th. I'm like, okay, Friday, because I wasn't paying attention to what day of the week it was. And someone on Twitter said, no, they're Thursday. I'm like, oh, you're right. Okay, oops. Wait, why would anyone do this on a Thursday night? But whatever. So
yeah.
Full disclosure, I did not watch the Gaming Awards as
I did not either.
I had the stream. I got home at like 10:30 or something like that, and I pulled up the live.
Your sister did rattled him off, she says. So. and I hurt her for not knowing the difference between the Emmy and the Oscars.
So I pulled up Yahoo's live stream, YouTube's live stream of it, and I scrubbed through it and just watched all the game commercials because I didn't care about any of the awards. I actually counted, there were like 60 some odd different games up for awards this year. 66, like 67 different games up for various awards this year. I have played exactly one of them.
Yeah.
And
I'm going through the list here on Polygon. So we got 1, 2, 3.
I actually own 2 more. I own God of War. It's not here yet, but I bought it a couple of weeks ago in Black Friday sale. And I own Dragon Quest XI, which I haven't played yet. So I own those 2, haven't played them, and I have played Monster Hunter World. Out of the 67 games, it's the only things I've played.
There's
I didn't
23. There's 23 game categories, and one of them is a student category, and one is a best debut indie game, and then indies and AAA are lumped in together in all the other categories. So yeah. And I noticed that there's a best esports game, and every single one of those games, none of them have come out this year, unless Overwatch came out this year. I forget. Did that come out this year or the year before?
Overwatch?
Yeah.
Overwatch has been out for years.
Has
like
it?
2015, 2016, something like that.
Wow. Yeah. I am totally out of loop on that. I thought that was So none of them are from this year then. Counter-Strike, Dota 2, Fortnite, League of Legends, and Overwatch.
Yeah.
And Overwatch won that category, which I think is well deserved because it's out of that list. I think it's probably the one I'm most interested in playing.
So another thing I noted from the show was something that I complain about at all the game shows like E3 and such, and that is this: if you debut a trailer, or maybe more accurately, debut your game via some type of presentation like a trailer, and Jeff Keighley's first question to you is, so what's the game? I personally feel you've screwed up. If Jeff Keighley's first question is like, okay, so what kind of game is this? You probably didn't convey enough in the trailer, and there were a lot of trailers that I watched, and I went, well, that was pretty, but what is the game? I mean, one of them,
it's like
Scavengers, I think.
Okay.
Is the one that stuck out to me because it's people in a spaceship, and they get in escape pods, and they ride the space pods down to a planet, and then they get out of the space pods, and then they walk onto a bluff overlooking a valley, and that's it. I'm like, okay, it was a fun trailer. It looks pretty, and then Jeff Keighley's like, what kind of game is this? Because you watching, you're like, well, okay, is it a strategy game? Is it a survival game? Is it a co-op game? Is it multiplayer? Is it a first-person shooter? Is it a real-time strategy game? Is it cooperative, competitive, single-player, multiplayer? Who, base builder, tower defense? Who knows? I mean, the name scavenger
Yeah.
kind of implies at least an element of survival,
Yeah.
but you couldn't tell from the trailer. And Dragon's Age, I didn't even know that was Dragon's Age because it didn't say Dragon's Age in the trailer. It had like a camera going around some weird faced statue and then pulling out of some tapestry, and some dude say, "So you're finally here. I bet you have questions." And then there was some hashtag like "down with the dark wolves" or something. I'm like, is that the name of the game? What is that? Is it an expansion pack for something already existing? And I actually was reading a recap later and went, "Oh, that's a new Dragon's Age? That might have been really exciting had you actually told me what that was." Bioware.
Oh man, yeah, there's a lot of companies out there that do these horrible things, like Death Stranding. That thing. It took 3 years to even see anything resembling what the game might actually play like, and we still don't know what it's like.
Walking simulator.
Yeah. But yeah, but we got Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. I've never played the other two, so I don't know about that.
It's exclusive to the Switch.
Yeah, there's a new game coming from a Bastion developer called Hades, so I'm looking. Supergiant made that. I liked Bastion. It was a lot of fun. I haven't played any of their other games yet, but I would. I want to play more of their games. I just haven't gotten around to it.
Was it just me, or did Obsidian's trailer for what's the name of the game?
Obsidian.
I'll know it when I see it. Outer Worlds. The Outer Worlds. What was it? Just me, or I was getting a very okay, Bethesda, have a seat. Let the let the developers of the good Fallout game show you how it's done. I was getting that kind of a vibe out of the trailer, and I was really digging it.
Well, that would be good. We need more good quality
Fallout
games like that. Yeah, because that is a I think while post-apocalyptic style themes are fairly common, there's not a lot of good ones out there, and if we can get a good one,
this one, the post-apocalypse was corporate takeover.
Yeah.
It kind of reminded me of there was a trailer that debuted today or yesterday called Bright something. It's produced by James Gunn. And they are making the trailer makes it very clear that James Gunn is producing it. Yeah, that James Gunn. The James Gunn, the Guardians of the Galaxy James Gunn, that James. They're very clear that it's James Gunn. The movie actually looks really interesting. To recap it real quick, it's like, what if Superman, in other words, Ma and Pa Kent find an alien baby, and alien baby has superpowers, but what if that kid was like a serial killer, like like Jason Voorhees or something? What if Superman but Jason Voorhees or Michael Myers? That's kind of the premise. That appears to be what the premise of the movie is. But the which also seems to be kind of a meta commentary on, how the current DC Superman seems to be like this murderous, creepy weirdo. Yeah, that's this. But the trailer seems to be, hey, you remember James Gunn? You know, the guy who made the visionary director who made the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, who Disney fired because they listened to disingenuous assholes on Twitter. We got him, and we're making a real cool movie. I was really getting a kick out of how much they were James Gunning, but even though
Yeah.
I hate to diminish the role, but he's just a producer, you know. Yeah,
Yeah.
as my sister points out, the visionary director James Gunn, who did Guardians of the Galaxy, who's now going to fix Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Anyway, what else stuck out to me
Well,
about
they announce, or Nintendo announced, the first of the paid DLC
Ooh,
Smash characters.
yes.
And this is a kind of a surprise for me, because I
I'm just
don't even,
surprised it didn't leak at
yeah,
all.
but yeah, and this franchise isn't really known on Nintendo consoles, but Joker from Persona 5 is
You know,
coming.
we talked about Cloud and how Final Fantasy VII. There are Final Fantasies on Nintendo, but Final Fantasy VII is not.
Yeah.
Um, Persona. I think there's one Persona game on like Persona Q2 or something is on.
Yeah, something on
That's like it.
DS, or yeah.
So it's kind of odd. I'm working on a I've been working on had outlined a YouTube video of the five Smash Brothers DLC characters we might see. And
Yeah.
I thought to myself, oh, they're probably going to announce one at the Game Awards. I should hurry up. And then I learned it was Thursday night. I'm like, I'm never going to finish it in time. So maybe it'll end up being four. And so I said, I'll just have this idea of all in the video.
Persona Q Shadow of the Labyrinth was the 3DS one, and that's the only one that I can see that was released on a Nintendo franchise.
Yeah. It had been reported that the 5 DLC characters were picked by Nintendo, not Sakurai. And this does feel like a very business decision. A very popular game right now, and we got it. So at the very least, there's going to be some great music. I'm really excited to hear the remixed music because Persona games have great music. Anyway,
maybe this year we'll learn that some of these Persona games are actually coming to the Switch.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if there's going to be a port of Persona 5 to the Switch. Persona 5 is on the PS3, so it'll run on the damn Switch. Get Panic Button. That seems to be their niche. So
yeah,
it's funny because I had a list of characters that I may have to change it from characters that what the DLC characters might be to what I'd like to see, because now that we've seen that, okay, Joker from Persona 5, we're going in this direction. That kind of changes what my list is.
Yeah,
because
this one is just from what I know,
are we going to get Lara Croft from Tomb Raider?
Yeah, so I haven't played any of the Persona series, but it feels like Joker here it feels like he's going to play very much like Bayonetta would, with the big, because he's got the little demon persona guy that comes in and assists him, kind of like how Bayonetta has the big moves and stuff, like a giant foot coming out of a portal to stomp on enemies, that kind of stuff. So but yeah, so that's going to be kind of interesting. I'll have to see how that ends up playing, but yeah, so all kinds of things are opening up. And back for the Wii U, when that Smash came out and they announced Cloud for it, I wrote a satirical article about the next 3 characters that are going to come for Smash, and the characters I picked were Nathan Drake from the Uncharted series, Master Chief from the Halo series, and Pong Paddle from Pong.
And Pong Paddles are an assist trophy.
Yeah, but those are the 3 characters that I jokingly said was going to join Smash, and now I'm not so sure if that can. They're
It
with
doesn't seem as far. It,
yeah.
you know, Persona's Atlas, which is owned by Sega, who already has Sonic in the game, so I guess it's not that much of a stretch. Uh,
Yeah.
you know, it, who did I say? Lara Croft is Crystal Dynamics or Eidos or
Eidos.
Active.
Yeah, that's all
Owns it.
Square Enix.
Square Enix
So,
now. But would Sony or Microsoft lend one of their characters, like Kratos or Master Chief or something? That's
yeah, I have a feeling that
even
Nintendo
though they
wouldn't.
all shared the stage together, Reggie and Curly
Yeah.
and Mo. Phil Spencer and who's the other guy? Shared a stage. That doesn't mean that they're going to share their characters. But Lara Croft is definitely a possibility. I do think Banjo Kazooie might actually.
See, that would be cool if they got Banjo Kazooie, because that's something that people want, is they want to see a rare character show up on this, and Banjo Kazooie is rare personified for a lot of fans, and so yeah, I would definitely.
Or maybe they just take notable stuff. So we'll have bearded Kratos. We'll have Marvel's Spider-Man. Swing it.
Yeah.
See what else is popular this year. Would
Let's
anyone
see
from
here.
Fortnite? Would anyone from Fortnite? Are any of the characters actual characters in Fortnite?
Do you think they would bring in a Marvel or a DC Comics character?
Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
because yes, you mentioned Spider-Man, but
Marvel Alliance 3 is exclusive to Switch, so we could have Spider-Man or Wolverine or
yeah,
Dazzler. There you go.
Dazzler.
Dazzler.
Yeah, get Batman in there. Have a Batman on there.
Come on, Magikarp.
Batman has a contingency plan for all 75 characters in Smash. And yeah.
Hello, Mr. Judas, who says Kratos versus Master Chief. Yes. My list was probably a bit safer than Nintendo may end up going. I mean, it's kind of interesting. You start out with Joker from Persona, and that kind of sets an expectation for what the next four are going to be. It's like, you're really expanding out and going to be selecting stuff that no one's thought of. Not necessarily, but
yeah, it's not like they're gonna be throwing Captain Toad in there. Yeah, it's just well, Captain Toad might have been a possibility before the other day, but now it's like, why would they throw in Captain Toad when the entire video game universe is their playground? So yeah, I would love to see what they come up with. Ooh, Scrooge McDuck. They should go with Scrooge McDuck.
With his pogo stick cane.
Yeah.
Or a character
from Mortal
Kombat.
A lot of people. Or a character from Mortal Kombat, Sub-Zero or Scorpion. Yeah. Because don't do one of the boring hero side characters. Do one of the cool, fun villain or evil side.
It's
characters.
Like one of the fourth tier palette swaps, like Rain or Airmac or something.
Smoke. Yeah. Man,
I'm excited for Mortal Kombat 11 at least.
Oh yeah, they're coming out with a new Mortal Kombat game, which
I mean that was just a CG trailer. There was no gameplay, but it's Mortal Kombat 11. We know what Mortal Kombat is.
Well, and
so
it's coming out in April, so I'm kind of surprised they didn't release a gameplay trailer.
Well, apparently they're going to have their own type of thing in January.
In January, yeah. Kotaku's reporting January 17th, but yeah. Yeah, the only Mortal Kombat game I currently own is Mortal Kombat versus DC.
I think I have
Xbox 360.
I think I have 2 and 3 on the Super NES.
Yeah, I don't I just don't have any. It's like we got that one for free. Some of our friends were giving away some of their games, and that was one of them. And I was just like, okay, I'll play it. I know it sucks, but I'll still play it.
So another thing I noticed is that the Game Awards was like 3 hours long. I didn't sit through the whole thing. I just watched all the trailers and stuff. But
Yeah.
whoo, boy, was that a long show. Oh, I did watch the musical performance of whatever the theme to Smash Brothers is called, and I was very disappointed that they didn't have the vocals. It was just the music. I'm like, you, but
Huh.
but you made a whole song out of it, and it's awesome. Maybe they couldn't get the singer there that night, so they had to do an
Maybe.
instrumental version. That hopefully that was the case, because I mean that would be like doing an instrumental version of "Jump Up Superstar," the song from Mario Odyssey. You know,
Yeah.
why would you do that? Oh, by the way, the Japanese version of the light song from Smash Brothers is better than the English version.
Okay.
Objectively better.
Okay. I'll take your word for it.
Oh, you haven't compared both. You haven't
No, I
really
haven't.
listened to both. Yeah. I really like the English one because the lyrics make a wonderful balance of um, earnest but cheesy.
Hmm.
If you listen to the lyrics, it doesn't really mean a whole hell of a lot, but it's so earnest in its self importance that it's wonderful balance. I thought really well, really great lyrics, and that loses something in the Japanese because I don't understand Japanese, so I have no idea what the lyrics mean. Um, but I think the singing is better in the Japanese version, and a lot of that I think comes into just which vowels the singer ends up on. Um, because at the very beginning, da 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 da, that is an ah vowel, light in English. But the Japanese, whatever the ending, the word ending terminating that phrase is an e vowel. So the singer ends up having a much stronger forward position in on that high note, which just comes off as a lot more powerful. And I prefer that
Yeah.
to the softer, a little bit more airy, a little bit further back in the throat, awe of light
Yeah.
that the English singer has on that phrase, and that is has those places throughout the song. I just think the Japanese singer, she's helped by the vowels, but I think she's a slightly stronger singer anyway. Um, both great though.
Yeah.
So any final thoughts on the Game Awards?
No, not really.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I
none
don't
of the
know
games were.
what was Game of the Year. What one? Do you know?
Game of the year was
God of
God of
War.
War. Yeah,
Oh,
it went up against Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Celeste, or Celeste. I don't know how to say that, but from
Celeste.
Celeste,
I don't know.
Marvel, Spider-Man, Monster Hunter World, and Red Dead Redemption 2. Um, and
Monster Hunter World was up for Game of the Year.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So yeah, God of War one, two. I think it only won 2 awards: best game direction and game of the year. Red Dead Redemption
Did it
won.
win the award for best boy?
No, yeah, and Christopher Judge did not win for best performance as
Is that
Kratos.
the gentleman who does Kratos?
Yeah.
Chris Best.
Um, Yeah, but Red Dead Redemption like swept the awards. They didn't get Game of the Year, but they got Best Narrative.
Best
They
balls.
got Best Musical Score, Best Audio Design. Roger Clark, who plays Arthur Morgan, won Best Performance. That's in Red Dead Redemption 2.
Worst control
And
layout. Let's put talk and shoot on the same button.
no, God of War won a third one. Best
Howdy,
action
neighbor. Oh,
adventure
dude, I
game.
just shot you in the face. I'm so sorry. It's the same button for some reason.
Yeah. But yeah, so God of War and Red Dead Redemption 2 won most of the awards. All the other stuff. Oh, Celeste won games for impact and best independent game.
From what I understand, the lead character, the protagonist, the character you control in Celeste, that's not Celeste. That's confusing.
Okay.
That's like how the character you control in Metroid is not Metroid. It's confusing.
Yeah. Uh, but yeah.
Her name's like Janet or something. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know what Return for Obra Dinn is, but they won best art direction.
And that's I don't know what it was up against, but I'm happy with that because Oberdin is something that I'll probably pick up once it drops in price because
Well, they
I like its
went up
look and I
against
like its hook.
yeah. They went up against Assassin's Creed Odyssey, God of War, Red Dead Redemption 2, and Octopath Traveler. So,
Ooh.
yeah.
Hmm. I'd easily drop Assassin's Creed out of that, but
Yeah.
man, there's some nice art direction in all of them.
Okay, Return from okay, I've seen pictures of Return the Obra Dinn.
That's a tough call.
Yeah, that's some good art direction. I like that. That's what is that? Is that the monochrome? Yeah, that's all monochrome, which is really nice.
Yeah,
And I
they
think
do a
this is
really
like the
nice job of doing a a game that actually runs well, with a decent fluid frame rate. I mean, the individual still shots of the game, you could probably get a few people thinking, "Oh, there's an old '80s Apple game or something like that." No, it's a full 3D game. It's an interesting render style.
Yeah, it is, and I remember seeing this a few years ago when the developer first announced it, um, because it was really cool to look at back then, and I'm glad to see that the developer won this because yeah, that is a beautiful looking game. So.
Mhm. So, all right. Well, I think we will end the show here because I have to go shopping before Trader Joe's.
All right.
So, hey everyone, thanks for watching.
Yes, thank you.
Let's plug our stuff and be out. Andrew Eisen here. Uh, Eisen is how you spell the last name. Plug it into YouTube. You'll find my videos. I'm going to start posting the Extra Life stuff probably tomorrow or the next day. I'm working on kind of a intro marathon recap kind of video that I want to put up first before I start uploading all the Extra Life marathon footage. So look for that soon. Probably not going to have much more than that in the podcast for the rest of the year. I'll probably have a game stream next weekend or the weekend after. But I'm going to visit my sister for New Year's, and we have a few different videos that we're going to try to get done, but we may just you know drink and watch fireworks instead. So who knows? Except I don't drink, so that's probably not likely. But hopefully in January there will be some interesting Andrew and Kelly content. So look forward to that. And follow me on Twitter at Andrew Eisen, where I abuse the power of the English language by putting terrible images in your head by tweeting things like toothpaste enema. Because now that image is in your head, isn't it?
Yeah.
I take the power of words very seriously. So, all right, Zachary, plug away.
All right, you can follow me on Twitter at Easy Night, where I talk about video games and politics and other things. And you can follow my game development work at DK_gaming and on Twitter and DivineNightGaming.com. And this week I'm actually going to be starting on Sunday, going through December 16th, is the Two Buttons Game Jam. And I'm actually going to be making a game for that. And my son, he's 14 years old. He's going to be helping me with this. He's started working with tiled map editor, and he really likes that. He's wanting to get into programming and stuff, so I'm involving him in some smaller game projects that I want to work on, and so this is one of the things we're going to be working on. You can find out more about this. You just look up Two Button Game Jam at itch.io, and you'll find the community page for that. So that'll be fun. This is a week-long game jam, so I should be able to get something done. I tend to have poor. I tend to not be able to get a weekend game jam done, so a week-long one should be pretty good. So yeah, so there's that going on. And if you're interested in the Oklahoma game development scene, you can check out OK Game Devs on Twitter and okgamedev.com.
All right. You have been listening to the 125th episode of Molehill Mountain, the podcast. And we thank you for that. So, hope
Yes,
to see you next week. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.